Alright. The time has come. I have outfitted everyone, I have kitted everyone, I have done every side quest available in the game. I have the best armor and weapons available to me now. And I have sold everything that I don't need. I have over 1,000 gold. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. It's just gonna go to waste, I guess. Or it's gonna fund my trip to Antiva later, I don't know. But I am gonna go and finish this game. Here we go.
Commander, many of the lords have gathered. The Darkspawn have fielded armies, and the nobles want to know how you will protect them. Shall I assemble them, or do you need more time to strategize? I will send messengers at once.
We've waited enough. Those who are late will just have to be filled in.
Lord Edelbrecht, this is the commander of the Greys Council, not yours.
I am fearful for the villagers on the plains. There's a Darkspawn army in the field, and with the soldiers returning to the vigil. This is no...
Commander! Commander!
What is it, girl?
A Darkspawn army is within sight of Amaranthine.
Make her protect us. They're attacking the city?
Some of the Vigil soldiers are still there. She won't fall easy.
Our forces cannot move quickly enough, but a small band might make it in time.
But that's... suicide.
We must try.
Fighting a horde of Darkspawn with almost certain death awaiting? Don't even think of leaving me here, Captain.
Who do you want to take with you, Commander?
That's me. It's just one measly Darkspawn army. I got your back.
Who else will you bring?
Initially, I thought you were utterly mad to invite me to join your order. But redemption... a man could die for that, and feel good about it.
Who else will you bring?
We will cut down all Darkspawn before us, and I will learn what they have done with my sister.
And so it is decided.
Don't you go dying on me, Commander. That's the Legion's job.
If I ever had doubts of you, they are erased. Fight nobly, and if you die, die with honor.
Oh, I miss out on the suicide mission. Oh, life can be so unfair. But, good luck. Chin up and all that?
The rest of us will stay here. Make her protect you and hold you close, Commander.
Please, Grey Warden, save my family. My family's in the city.
Please calm yourselves while I speak to the Warden Commander. Warden Commander. I am glad you arrived when you did, but I fear there is little that can be done now. A couple of nights ago, a swarm of gruesome creatures emerged from beneath the city. They spread pestilence and destroyed everything they touched. Then at dawn, the other Darkspawn attacked. Warden Commander, it's too late. Amaranthine is lost. The buildings might remain, but there will be few survivors so long after those creatures appeared. Their corruption is so virulent. At least a quarter of the city succumbed within the first day.
Constable, there is a Darkspawn approaching. Alone.
Archers! Take him down!
Peace. Do not be killing. Only talk. Architect has a message for Grey Warden.
As you wish, Commander.
The Mother's army. It marches to Vigil's Keep. She attacks now. The Architect, he sends me to warn you. You must save the Keep, then finish the Mother in her lair. The Architect wishes to have the Grey Warden's trust. He does not wish to see the Mother succeed.
If we leave now, we may be able to make it back to the Vigil in time to save it.
And what about the Darkspawn here?
Soon, they will go to Vigil's Keep as well. The Mother, she wants the Keep destroyed utterly.
The Darkspawn has a point. We cannot leave with this other army hot on our heels. The Constable says the city is lost. I say we destroy it, burn it, and all the Darkspawn within. Warden Commander, we have already lost Amaranthine. We can't lose the Vigil as well.
Commander, we can't save Amaranthine if it's already lost. We can still save the Vigil. I don't want to see fire ravage these streets, but it may be our only chance. It would take a miracle. I will follow your lead, Commander.
I don't envy you having to make this decision. I would risk everything. The Vigil, the Wardens, sod, even you. Stone, come on. We got a city to save.
We cannot afford to lose the Vigil and the Grey Wardens. And what humans are left here are lost anyway. No. I understand. Let us pray that the Keep can stand on its own.
No, no. If you stay, the Mother will get what she wants. I will go. I will do as the Grey Warden bids.
Amaranthine, then. The Darkspawn are never disorganized on their own. Something must be leading them. If we eliminate the Darkspawn leadership, we can go about finding survivors.
Good luck to you. And make her watch over us all.
I didn't realize I was picking the 3 people who were going to protest the most about this decision. But I know what I'm doing.
Warden Commander, we've received word of another wave of Darkspawn approaching the city. They will be here within a day. Most of the survivors are taking refuge in the Chantry. The militia has set up a base of operations there. You can rest and resupply there. In the meantime, my men and I will search for more survivors.
Wasn't I saying just a little while ago about how not private this little bedroom is?
Delighted.
Warden Commander, come quickly. The Darkspawn are still breaking through. The inn! They're coming from the inn somehow. What? Is that a joke? You can stop the Darkspawn, can't you? Make her bless you, Warden Commander.
Yep, I'm going. Here I come to save the day.
Time for more darkspawn, I see. I would watch out were I you.
Commander, the Darkspawn are retreating. Precisely the problem. The Architect's messenger has given us directions to the Mother's lair. We must pursue her. Commander, what should we do with the messenger? It shall be as you say. Make her watch over you, Commander.
You've saved us, thank you! Is it true the dwarves are dwindling? The Darkspawn always at the gates of Orzammar, threatening to overwhelm you?
Yes, and yes. It's only a matter of time.
We elves are few in number, and every one of us is precious. But you isolate your casteless, forbid them from bearing weapons. And you saw what happened in Kal Hiral.
Yes, well, the noble caste has a stick up its collective butt. A stick called tradition.
It appears we will need to fight them like one at a time.
I'm glad to see that you are well, sister.
Serani. Oh, thank Mythal you're still alive. What has the Architect done to you? Why are you with him?
The Architect is kind to me, and tender, and he has told me his plan. The Darkspawn are just like us. The Architect has freed them, and they search for a place in this world, just like the Dalish are searching. Everything he's done to help his people. You can respect that, can't you, sister?
Serani, they killed our friends, and so many others. Don't you remember?
I do. And this is why I must help them. They are like children come into the world with no understanding of what is good and fair. They have a bestial nature, but I've seen them overcome it. They just need to be shown how. No, I have work to do. The Architect is waiting for me. And for you. He will explain everything. You will see, as I have seen.
No! Don't go!
Of course. Of course.
And so we meet again. No, Uther. That is not how this must begin. I owe you an apology, Commander. When last we met, I intended to explain myself. Fate, however, intervened. I restrained you, only to prevent the misunderstanding that occurred with the rest of your order.
Yeah, the sort of misunderstanding that ends with a field of dead bodies. Uh-huh. I get those sometimes.
I sent the Withered to ask for the Grey Warden's help. I should have anticipated that you might view our approach as an attack. I am rarely able to judge how your kind will react. It was most unfortunate. The Grey Wardens that were brought to me were already dead. I took their blood just as I took yours, because I had little choice. Things have not gone as I planned. I only ask that you hear me out. Should you still wish to slay me afterwards, you may try. My kind has ever been driven to seek out the old gods. This is our nature. When we find one, a blight is begun. Each time we attack your surface lands and you fight back until we are defeated. To break the cycle, my brethren must be freed of their compulsion. For that, I need Grey Warden blood. In order to become what you are, you drink the blood of my kind. To transform. Similarly, we must transform. I have created a version of your joining that uses the blood of Grey Wardens. You take the taint into yourself. What we take is your resistance. That is how my brethren are freed. In your blood,
lies the key to their immunity against the call of the old gods.
The Wardens are supposed to stop the Blight. We'll be retired and talking about the glory days in no time.
Once they are freed, the Darkspawn think for themselves. They speak, they act. Some, however, have reacted poorly. They are flawed and they rage against me. The Mother gathers them to stop me, as she seeks to stop you. I cannot defeat the Mother alone, and I cannot free the Darkspawn unless she is defeated. Our goals are the same.
Darkspawn or no, he has a good point. Do we really want to keep killing each other forever?
This is what my sister saw. An ally amongst the Darkspawn. This is an opportunity we cannot pass up.
Help me kill the Mother, and after it is done, I will leave to continue my work. I was born as I am, an outsider amongst my kind. Why? I do not know. Why do some of your kind become Grey Wardens? Why do some possess magic? I have no answers. My most flawed creation. Freedom drove her mad, and she has poisoned the minds of the others. She has influence with the ones who have not been freed, and she gathers them as an army. I do not seek to rule, my brethren. I only seek to release them from their chains. And how would they know when the choice has been deprived of them? Without choice, there is only one path before them, and that leads to the Blight. I believe there is another way.
Hey, if playing with their newfound minds keeps the Darkspawn away from Orzammar, I'm happy.
This is the right thing to do. Sarani believed it, and I do too.
Thank you, Commander. I realize what a leap of faith this is for you. I hope that I prove worthy of your trust. The Mother lies ahead, Warden. I cannot approach her physically. Her children protect her from my power. But when you reach her, I will do whatever I can to help you. You have my promise.
Now the pieces fall into place. The Grey Warden comes, the instrument of the Father. Oh, and the Father, he is but a shadow. Oh, how my children protect me. How they love me.
I have told you many times, Mother. I am not the Father. I am simply the Architect.
It does not change what you are! You took away that beautiful music, left us with nothing.
It was a mistake to free you. It has left you with madness. I am truly sorry.
Ah, but perhaps the Warden would like to hear how it was that the Father began the Blight. You want the source of the Archdemon? The one who brought all our kind to the surface? Here he is!
Well, paint me green and call me a turnip.
Ah, there it is then. Unfortunate. I did find the old god Athemiel, but I did not wish another Blight. I attempted my joining ritual. My hope was that this would free all Darkspawn, unravel the curse from its source. Alas, I was unlucky. Is it not the way of the Grey Wardens to do what must be done, in the name of combating the Blight? The Blight is a menace, both for your people and for mine. To end it requires sacrifice and risk.
And how lonely the father was. How terrible to be the outcast, the outsider. He claims he wishes the Darkspawn to be free, but what he truly wants is to correct them.
However you feel about what I have done, the mother is mad. She cannot be allowed to...
Begone, Shadow! Any more than you already have. And now the hero is alone. Oh, the mother knows your ways. You will not let her be, no, not after what she's done. So it must end. It all must come crashing down! Perhaps we will hear the song again when we die. Oh, let it come. Let it come.
I'm sensing more dark.
After the death of the mother, the remaining Darkspawn forces scattered and fled back into the deep roads. The raids on Amaranthine came to an abrupt end. The architect apparently kept his word, gathering his remaining disciples to follow the rest of their kind back underground. Those Grey Wardens in other nations were appalled to hear of the architect's continued existence, but were unable to track him down despite years of effort. Some within the Order have claimed that the architect's survival guarantees another blight, and yet the deep roads have lately been quieter than any can recall. Most have resignedly decided that it is now in the Maker's hands. Word of the Grey Warden's heroic salvation of Amaranthine spread like wildfire. When the magnitude of the losses at Vigil's Keep came to light, sympathy drove generous donations from all over Ferelden into the region's coffers. Amaranthine was restored to her former glory within a year, Vigil's Keep in 5. Because of the Warden's support for law and order in Amaranthine, Constable Iden and his men were able to distribute the smuggler's goods to the battered survivors in the grueling days that followed the Darkspawn defeat. The Darkspawn messenger, set free after joining the Wardens in the Battle of Amaranthine, struck out on his own. The city soon buzzed with stories of a cloaked but lisping figure who aided travelers in danger. At the same time, reports of isolated cases of the Darkspawn disease emerged. No one connected the two. Although the war devastated many farms in the Arling, all agreed the loss would have been greater without the soldiers for protection. The farm holders developed a certain reverence for the Warden commander, as well as an ongoing reliance on the Grey Wardens for order and protection. Vigil's Keep stood alone against a horde of Darkspawn. The Mother's forces outnumbered the Vigil's defenders many times over. But the sturdy dwarven walls proved impervious to any boulder an ogre could throw. The Vigil's soldiers, clad in silverite, each felled a dozen Darkspawn before they died. The Vigil held one night, then 2, then a week, and eventually the attacking horde broke upon her walls. The keep developed an almost mythic reputation, a few survivors immortalized in song and legend. The Vigil became a trading hub that would eventually eclipse the city of Amaranthine, with traders reassured by guards continually patrolling the pilgrim's path. But prosperity bred scheming and treachery between the merchants and nobles, testing the commander's patience for years to come. Peace allowed the wardens to replenish their numbers. Soon, Vigil's keep bore a capable army with wardens at its core. From their ranks emerged new heroes to challenge threats to Amaranthine and all of Ferelden. Through taxes and levies, the Vigil was rebuilt. Years later, Voldric Glavornek stood on the battlements and pronounced that the defenses were acceptable. He would never speak more highly of human engineering. Dark whispers of a conspiracy against the Wardens fell silent after a rash of accidents and disappearances culminating in the apparent suicide of Ban Esmerel. The nobles of Amaranthine remained dutiful. Some even suggest they were cowed into submission. I got this slide by accident. This is because I did not finish the Dark Wolf questline before actually being attacked by Ban Esmerel, so it gave me the wrong questline. This is what happens if you finish the Dark Wolf questline. Oh well, close enough. Among the many legends that the Vigil spawned was one of the great heroes of the next age, a shepherder turned soldier by the name of Sir Alec the Valiant, who eventually founded an order of knights that lasted 1,000 years. The commander's blade, Vigilance, crafted from the bones of an ancient dragon, was boldly stolen by the Antivan Crows. The blade changed hands many times thereafter, with some master swordsmen pursuing the weapon their entire lives. Some claimed that this legendary blade had a life of its own, and that its power was steadily growing. Dworkin Glavornik further refined his lyrium sand explosives, but left the Warden's employ after Qunari mercenaries tried to assassinate him. Although the Dwarven Bombardier took his secrets with him, the learned say he left clues for others to follow in his footsteps. The Vigil soldiers, wearing the distinctive silverite armor that Master Wade crafted, came to be known as the Silver Order. Under the tutelage of the Wardens, the Silver Order developed into one of Ferelden's most revered military forces, a lasting memory of the Vigil's famous commander. With Valana and the Architect gone from the region, the Pilgrim's Path began to see traffic again. The massacre of the militiamen and the merchants, however, led to hostilities between the neighboring human settlements and any Dalish clans that passed by. One human villager soon kidnapped and murdered a Dalish child. The clans reacted by giving the Wending Wood a wide berth, but both sides know that at some point the elves will return for revenge. A few years after Calharal was emptied of Darkspawn, Orzammar began sending expeditions to rediscover the knowledge of smithing that had been lost within the Taig. Eventually, House Helmi decided that Calharal was too important to be abandoned. At tremendous cost of dwarven lives, they cleared the tunnels leading to Calharal of all Darkspawn, making the road between Orzammar and the fortress safe again. Calharal was reclaimed for Orzammar once and for all. As promised, Voldric and Dworkin presented Orzammar's Shaperate with the stone marker that told how Calharal's Castles had taken up arms against the Darkspawn. The commander of the Grey was invited to Orzammar as a guest of honor at a feast commemorating the defenders of Calharal. The Shaper read the names of the Castles off the marker, then presided over a ceremony to return them to the stone, as befitted warriors of their stature. In time, the Arling began to forget tales of apparitions in the Black Marsh, and ever so slowly settlers drifted into the region. Scholars said the veil was still thin, and thus the area still dangerous, but people only cared that there were no longer frightened whispers in the shadows. The village was slowly rebuilt. Twice the Baroness's mansion was rebuilt and occupied, once by a wealthy merchant and another time by an Orlesian mage. Both died mysteriously. Afterwards, the mansion was torn down completely and the site left untouched. The survivors of the siege at Vigil's Keep hailed Anders and his magic for holding back hundreds of the assaulting Darkspawn. In the ensuing victory celebration, the men dragged the mage to the fire to engage him in a drinking contest. Anders lost. Anders remained with the Grey Wardens for a few years longer, training the Order's next generation of mages, but when the Circle Tower called on him to deliver a lecture on the nature of the Architect, much to the Templars' dismay, Anders told the commander of the Grey that his time with the Wardens was over. And yet, not 2 months later, Anders returned to the Order. Ever after, the Wardens were his home and his lasting companions. Vallana never saw her clan again, but neither did she forsake her Dalish culture, nor her sharp tongue, nor her quick temper. Vallana's interactions with other Grey Wardens changed her opinions of humankind significantly. Shortly after the Mother's defeat, Darkspawn stragglers who still remained on the surface attacked a human village. Vallana was the only warden nearby, and defended the village single-handedly. She did not sneer once. Years later, on an expedition into the Deep Roads, Vallana took off on her own, after saying she had seen Serani in the shadows. The other wardens searched for her, but she was truly gone. Over the next years, Nathaniel dedicated himself to the Order and to clearing out the blemishes on his family's name. After saving Tarn Fergus Cousland from a bandit attack, a portion of Amaranthine was returned to the house. Nathaniel passed the holding to Delilah's son, and when a new castle was eventually built there, a statue of Nathaniel was erected in its courtyard. Justice fought valiantly at the battle for Vigil's Keep, but before the victory horn sounded, a Darkspawn sword removed Kristoff's head. It was, of course, unclear whether the spirit of justice perished or simply departed. At least Kristoff's wife, Aura, was finally able to reclaim her husband's ashes. It was Sigrun who led the charge against the Darkspawn when Vigil's Keep was attacked. Once again, she had an army behind her, and once again they fought Darkspawn with no hope of survival. This time, Sigrun did not flee. Oghren continued to regale young Warden recruits with tales of his prowess both in battle and in bed. His drinking games prompted at least one recruit to declare that she'd rather reattempt the joining than lift another mug. At the Warden Commander's urging, Oghren took a more active role in his child's life. He visited Felsi often and wrote letters, which the Warden Commander graciously proofread, nearly every week. As for the savior of Ferelden, he did not remain as commander of the Grey for long. The Darkspawn was no longer a real concern, and the Blight well and truly over. It was time for him to move on. Some claim the commander went to Antiva, chasing after the assassin Zevran. One rumor suggested that the pair engaged in a terrible showdown at the Antivan capital, and others say they took over the Crows. Perhaps they adventure together still. The end! Yay! That ending is not true for Anders. But that's okay. That's what you get when you have lazy storytelling. Good job, BioWare. Alright. With that done, I just downloaded Witch Hunt, which you might have seen. It had a little pop-up earlier saying that my download was done. So I'm probably going to play Witch Hunt, and then I'm going to move on to Dragon Age 2. And Kyungsu's story will be done at that time. Finally, after like 300 hours of playing.